Is it visible? Prof?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, good afternoon to everyone. And this session we will discuss on the very, very important aspect of machine learning, and that is basically the data cleaning. Why we do it and then how you do it, because this is very important, and we'll see that why it is so important, why people are uh they develop the model, and then when we check the models on the real world, why we find that the models will not perform so good. So there are a lot of associated issues, and to be a very good ML expert, we need to understand why the data cleaning is very important and how we can do it. Okay, so moving there further, basically that we understood from our discussions, earlier discussions, that machine learning is basically try to understand the data. So we pass the data and then we do certain operations. We try to develop a model, and all that model and that learning and then different terms we have used, basically that try to map the relations between the data. What is the data, what is the value, and then how it is related with the output. Based upon those mapping and relations, it try to formulate certain kind of model, and that model we use it for further classification or regression or something kind that. So that means everything totally depends upon what we are feeding into it. If we are feeding a garbage data, that means the data which is not good, then our model learn from it, and it will model the machine learning model learn from it, and it will generate a model uh, which is a garbage model. It will have a lot of issues. Lot of issues in the form of the accuracy or identification and or prediction or something like that. Because if the data is corrupted, it is polluted, a lot of issues are there. Maybe those patterns the machine learning model use and develop a model and which is not accurate. So if this is the scenario, then what to do? And the best way is convert your garbage data to a quality data. So yeah, questions, you please note it down, and then later on I'll take your questions one by one. I hope this is fine. Somebody has raised the hand. So the challenge is how we convert this garbage data to a quality data. Because once I'm able to convert this data to a quality data, then okay, then what I'll machine learning model I'll develop it. It will be quality model and it will give me better results. So the whole target is here. The whole target or what we are looking for, we are looking for this part there, this processing here in between. That before sending the data to a model, machine learning model, how to correct it. Let's understand what is the quality data and what is the garbage data and likewise. So we call it the ideal and the practical. So this is the ideal data. You can see this is the ideal data, and ideal data, you can see there are two parts as usual. They are input attributes. Okay, so and there are output attributes. Attributes are always column wise, and the rows are the samples basically. So this figure has two input attributes and then one output attributes, and it has, you can see here, 6 samples there. Now this one is ideal data. But when we receive the data practically, and how we do it, it may be through some kind of a survey. I think you have seen a lot of survey on through some um, polling mechanism, or in the newspaper, or in the form of a questionnaire or a feedback mechanism. We'll get the inputs from the users, and likewise, or we have certain kind of records available in the industry or hospitals or something like that, and then we use it to develop our whole data there. So when we do it, our practical data comes like this. And when it is like this data need to be need to be corrected. It need to be converted into a ideal one so that we can develop a good models. So what are the issues with such kind of a practical data? First issue is very simple. That is basically maybe some few things are missing. Even if like a feedback, somebody asks you and give you 10 questions, somewhere you give the numbers, but at some places you leave it because you are not sure of, or that is not connected to you. And maybe that is not connected, or maybe you just left it. So they are missing values, or there may be some kind of a duplicated values. So that is one kind of a issue with the practical data. The another is basically you can see the another issue is incorrect values. Your data may have incorrect values. Another issue is there are outliers. We'll see one by one what are these terms. Or maybe they are having some kind of a noise in the data. There may be inconsistency in the data. There may be irrelevant attributes. There may be a data imbalance. There may be a irregularity in the time series data. And a lot of such kind of issues are there. These are the common issues which are there with the practical data. Let's understand them what they are. So we are talking about the first is missing and the duplicate data. So you can see here on the scene that you are missing the NaN means it's missing, it's not known here. Or there is some kind of a duplication in the data. You can see here this data and this data is duplicated. One can ask that what is the issue? Like if it is duplicated, it's okay, means like the data is correct, but there is an issue because this data is duplicated, and when you train the model, then your model will be more biased with this data only, and that is incorrect model. So this is one kind of a problem, which is a practical issue. The second one is incorrect data. It's done by either by human error or mistake, or it can be most of the time it's a human error, or it is sometimes by the ignorance of something, or maybe some error in the data fetching. So like, okay, you can see the first data John and gender is male, and then pregnancy result is yes. So there is certain kind of issue. Third one is the outlier. So you can see here, okay, you can see here the size of the house and the price is 0.001, which is basically an outlier. It can't be like that. It is something beyond the boxes there. So that is kind of another kind of issue. We can call it outliers. Third, next one, the inconsistent data. You can see here the time. The time here is in different format. The time here is in different format, and then it will create a problem. Because when you pass these things to a machine, then it has to be in a particular format. It's not like sometimes you give it in a, even that time, sometimes you use 24-hour pattern, and sometimes if you use 12-hour pattern, it will create a problem. So that is basically the consistency should be there. Another one is the irrelevant data. So this one is healthcare data. You can see a dose and blood pressure, but then if I take the output as a weather or something attribute as sunny and sunny, make no sense. Yeah, if it is connected in one or another way, then it's okay. But many times they are irrelevant data. There is no use. Like, okay, say if you are working on a hospital data, you have a data, and then you have some kind of pathological test, and then disease identification. But there is one attribute, the name of the patient. The name of patient make no sense there, because same name person can be maybe suffering from some certain disease, may not be suffering from it, but the name will not contribute in identification of a disease as such. So classification of a disease, that okay, if the name is this, then this name person, they are less suffer or something like that. So those kind of analysis can be done, but they are irrelevant attributes. Then it's a data imbalance. This is very important. Like you can see here, you have three attributes: normal case, then you can have malignant, and you have benign. Now, if you train a model over it, very obviously, when you take some training samples, they are likely more training samples of the normal. And when you train the model, then it will be trained more towards the normal. And when you give anything of the malignant case to it, it may identify, may not identify. And that will develop a very, very incorrect model. So we have to see that how to work on this thing, that data imbalance can be reduced. A lot of work currently going on, that how to make that remove the data imbalance. And then maybe the irregularity into the representations, and and the in the data, maybe time series data and likewise. These are most common things you'll find when you are handling with the practical data. And our target is how to improvise on these things, how to correct on these things, so that we can have a better results and likewise. So we look for mostly three things there in data pre-processing. First is the extraction. So how you extract your data from multiple sources, and now you can see that a lot of IoT devices and the other information gathering systems are available, and also we have a different nature of problems are there. Sorry, nature different nature of data are available. Data are in form of numbers, data in form of text, data in form of signals, data in form of the images, data in form of certain kind of combinations, and likewise. So how you are extracting them from different sources, and then and then placing those things in certain kind of a order. That is the next, and then that is basically the transformation. So how you transform data to a standard format, which you can process it through a model. So what are the various techniques you are using to transform your data from the raw data? And third one is how you are loading it to your machine learning models. So these three things, ETL, that is very important, and it is important aspect of your data pre-processing. Okay, so one is we have a data cleaning, how you clean your data. The another one is how you integrate your data of a different nature. Next is how you transform your data, and then how you reduce the dimensions of your data. These four parts, four approaches, they are a part of data pre-processing techniques, and these are required for your or to develop a very good machine learning model. Let's talk about one by one. So data cleaning. We have major three issues. First, handling the missing values. The second one is handling the noisy data. And the third one is the handling the inconsistent data. Okay, so handling the missing values, there are various ways to do it. The simplest one is you just remove the row and column of the missing value. Well, if you do it, if that's the easiest job, because if the row is not complete one, that means if attributes are missing, just remove it. Looks easy, but what will happen is if we delete it, it may be possible we miss some very important informations. Because say if there are 100 attributes and only one is missing, and you remove that particular whole row there, then the other 99 attributes which are playing a role in decision making, and that job that is basically gone there. Similarly, you will find that it may create a kind of imbalance also. Like if I have 1,000 rows, and out of 1,000 rows 20 are missing, or say 100 are missing, make a number big, and most of those missing are belong to one class. And if I remove it, then there is imbalance in the data. So that's not a good idea. So then people talk about, okay, what we can do is we replace the missing value by a mean, median, or mode. Okay, so you can see here if you replace the mean, median, mode. But if you replace it by mean, median, mode, what will happen? It will disturb the variance of the data, because what you have done is you have taken the mean value and put it. And if you have done it, say 100 at 100 places, so you'll find that out of 1000 at 100 places, you have replaced the missing values by mean. When you plot it, you'll find that more data will be near the mean, because mean will not be disturbed because you are replacing it by the mean value. But the more data will be towards the mean point, and you'll find that variance is disturbed. So that's not a good idea. So then people, in some cases, it varies from case to case. Okay. People talk about, okay, let's replace it by predicted value. So this suggests that, okay, if some value are missing in a certain feature, so what you can take, you take that feature and then apply some kind of a prediction method, some kind of a regression method to predict it. Well, that is a good idea to work on, but it is computationally heavy because you are applying a prediction model in another model. So so that is a real challenge there. And if you want to fill it by the manually, you want to fill it, it's a time consuming, because the data you are going to handle in machine learning, there are thousands and thousands of entries there. So we have to look out that what kind of approach is good for uh, to fill these missing values. Each approach which I've discussed here, they have certain kind of a merit and certain kind of demerit. Then the second part is handling the noisy data. So one way is you can smoothen or apply the binning technique, or you can do a certain kind of a clustering approach, make some clusters, or you apply some regression. So if you do it like that, you'll find something is out, something is doesn't belong to that cluster or that approach, something is very far away. And through that, you can identify that, okay, this one is something noisy or outlier. And there are various other outlier detection techniques also. So you can see here, you can make bin, and from the bin, you can identify if there is something kind of a which is outlier. You can go for the averaging, you can apply median, you can apply the clustering. You can see some of the data which are outside the clusters, so that means they are outliers. You apply a regression and you'll find for some value this one is creating a major drift, maybe that is outlier, and likewise. The another one is handling the inconsistent data, like two entries of same type but they do not match. And then we need to see that, okay, we find out the similarity kind of arrangements, and the algorithms, can we use it to handle such kind of the arrangements there. The second part, once you have of this one, the second part of the pre-processing is data integration. So how to integrate it and what are the challenges? Because I told you this is one part of data as on today, data collection, because data collection is huge, it's vast, and it has a lot of variety. So they lack in the format, they lack in the data type, and some similar kind of issues there. Their attributes matching, or may not be, maybe matching, or there may be mismatch. That is a very common issue there. There may be a variations in the matrix units, like, okay, uh, uh one of the attribute is in kilometer, somebody writes 1, and then 1.1, and then another one is right into change the unit there. So the initially the attribute is distance, So somebody give you the input in terms of kilometers. Another person put the values in terms of meters. Some put in terms of centimeters. So we have different units, and that's why there is a variation in the values. That can be a kind of a challenge there. So they are merged in a single. We have to merge them into a single entry, because that single data repository will go to the machine learning algorithm. So we have to bring it at a same port. There may be a redundancy in the data. We have different techniques to check it. What we are discussing, we'll see in the next session how these things affect and how we can do it very easily using uh, Python software. But this is required. You can use other softwares also. It depends upon where you are comfortable with. There is a data transformation. We need to transform it into proper format. Okay. There may be maybe many operations, like you go for aggregation, feature scaling, feature reduction, discretization. Okay. Concept hierarchy generation, hierarchical putting the things there. Reason is there because we'll see few of them, like scaling the feature. Why we are going for the feature scaling? So say I'm working on a data, say car data, and one of the feature is basically the number of seats in the car. The second feature, you can take it that the CC, that is a car engine capacity, and third feature is the price of car, and the outcome is say purchase or not purchase, something like that. Now here, if you see the input three features, the seat of car is, you will find, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, maximum, like that. CC you will find in some thousand representation, and then the price of car you'll find in lakhs. So if you compare that one, and okay, you take another feature also, carbon emission. So now if you compare the carbon emission values and the values of the price of a car, you'll find that there is a huge difference. And when you model when you use the data as it is to develop a model, machine learning model, you'll find the model is more biased towards your price of a car, reason being it is having a big values there. So we do the feature scaling so that my model is not biased towards any particular kind. Similarly, these are the approaches we have to use it. We call it a data transformation. We convert one form of a data to another form of a data. And then the next part is data reduction. So data reduction is basically, okay, I have so many features, but what we'll find that out of those many features, there are only few data which are very important for us. Rest data, they are not that important, and we can remove it. So how to find out which data are more important or put a more impact? All those things comes under, because if you have large data, large number of features, your model will be more complex, and you'll find that many of those features they are not that important. You can remove them. So there we go for feature reduction, data reduction, and there are two parts in that one. One is feature selection and the feature extraction also. So feature scaling I discussed with you, and you can see here a better representation how we do it. So we have few things there. You can see rating, and then bedroom, number of bedrooms, and the price. So if you see this figure carefully, you will not find that, I mean, there are hardly, the numbers are visible for rating and bedroom. You can see that it is, but the bar chart is not visible, because if you compare it with the price, they are not that, uh, the values are very less, and that will affect our calculations. So price attribute will have more influence in this particular case. Okay. And then the models, when we develop for this kind of a scenario, they are biased. So to remove that, we have to bring these data at a same level, basically. Okay, so the easiest form is we do the normalization. And this is the way to do the normalization. We find out the norm, x norm value and we calculate it. But this one is, this normalization technique, it has a merit and it has a disadvantage also. So advantage is, or where to apply, it is when the deviation is very less. That's good. Standard deviation is not that much, it's okay. But if there is a outlier, so you can see here in the calculation, it depends upon the x max. And if there is outlier, it will affect the normalization process. So it's sensitive to the outliers. Okay. So you can see here, this is the normalized marks. Okay. This one is without outlier, because you can see these are the marks there. Okay. And from there you can normalization, you can perform it by putting into the range of 0 to 1. Okay. So you can have 50 as 1 and then you can put the minimum and accordingly you can divide the whole structure there. But if I just add an outlier there, now you see the effect of your outliers. They are sensitive because you can see the value here is 1, and so if there is some other value, it can't be that much it change here. But if there is outlier, you can see the value is reduced from 1 to 0.375. So all these are skews towards the one corner of it, and that is basically the effect of the outlier. So this way of normalization, when you perform a feature scaling, that will affect your normalization process. Then there is a standardization format. So you can use this formula x minus mu or sigma, standard deviation and the mean value there. Okay, so they are not that sensitive towards the outliers. Okay, so you can apply, instead of that, you can apply this one there. Okay, so when talking about the feature selection, so we have customer IDs, we have name, we have city, we have age, we have salary, and we have purchase, yes or no kind of thing. Okay, so now we have more columns. Can we drop something out of it? That is the point there. Okay, so customer ID is not that important because we are looking for purchased or not purchased. Okay, and the name is also not important. Maybe city is also not that important for our case, putting in that way. So if I take age, salary and purchase, makes sense in for some kind of analysis. But somebody is more interested on the impact of the city also, you can take that way also. But we know that the name and customer ID will not make many impact there. Okay, so there are various ways and we use wrappers. So all possible subsets are used to build models. And finally, the best subset which give the best result with best performance metrics, we use it. We call it a wrapper. And another way is we use filters. So we select features based upon their relationships, some kind of a relations, correlations. So there are two ways. Okay, one way we make subsets. So say we decide it initially that out of this we want only 3 features. So we make different combination. One combination customer ID, name, city. Then another customer ID, city and age. Then another is customer ID, age and salary. Then name, city, age, name, age, salary, city, age, salary, and likewise. And then we develop the models, and then we choose one, which one is the best. This one can kind of approach with moving towards wrapper. Filters is basically we use certain kind of statistical approaches or machine learning, statistical approaches to find out the relation between them. What are the correlations? What are the related or mutual informations? And based upon that, we select the top 3, top 2, or top 5 features. So these are the two common approaches people are using there. And one of them is like principal component analysis. So I just brief a little about principal component analysis, which is common what people have used in a simple way. Then we come back to this example. Okay, so let me check it from here. We are working on feature reduction. Let's take it from here. So we can reduce the features like this. So that, okay, I use the mean value to represent the data. So instead of taking more features, these three, I'll take that, okay, these three, if I take any mean value, then that is one group. So instead of taking 3, I have reduced it to 1. And we know how to calculate the mean value. But the mean value is not sufficient enough. You can see this one is one pattern here. You can see this is one pattern. This one is another pattern. But the mean value for both of them is the same. So mean is not a complete information to reduce the dimension. So then, okay, people suggest that what is the difference between here? So mean is same, but we know that the variance is different. This data is compressed data. This data is more spread data. Can we go for variance? And then we can use simple variance to represent it to make a difference between these two. So we can calculate the variance and we can see the bottom one is having more variance. That one feature can be used to separate it out. Okay, so like this is the data. If I want to talk on this one, you can say that what is the variance, how we calculate it. Now this is 2-dimension data, but we can put it variance in 2-dimension. We can take a projection on x-axis. This will give you a spread along the x-axis. We'll take a projection along y-axis. It will give us a spread on y-axis, and then the variance along x and y will give us the everything about this data. And then we can say that, okay, this is the representation of this data instead of taking it for each and every point and likewise. Well, it works fine, but check this case. Now this one, you can see the mean value will be same. What about x variance? That is also same. If I go for y variance, that is also same. But you can see the patterns are different. So what is the way to do it? And the way is like there is a different relationship like this. There is a different relationship like this. But if you calculate for both the cases, this one and this one, the mean is same and the variance is also same. But we know that the relationship between the pattern is different. And then what is the way to do it? People say that let's go for the covariance. So covariance is basically now you calculate the product of the coordinates and then take the sum. You will find there is a now covariance. In one, the covariance is negative, in another, the covariance is positive. And that will give us a now this matrix, this value, covariance value can help us, just one value will help us in separating these two patterns. Like the covariance for this is balanced data. We know that the covariance for this one is 0. So if I have 3 patterns, we can easily say that which one is negative covariance, which one is having positive covariance, and which one is almost 0 covariance. So this is one kind of parameter which help us in reduction or give us some 10 kind of relation between the parameters, which you can take it further to develop a feature reduction technique. So what is the way? Now let's understand what is the way to do the reduction. We are working towards filters. We are not working for wrappers. So this is the pattern given to me. And then what we will do is we take the mean value of it and align it to the mean value of this graph. Okay. And then we calculate the covariance matrix. Now this matrix is very interesting matrix. So it gives us the values. So diagonal elements, they are variance elements, variance along x, variance along y, and off diagonal elements, they are known as covariance. So variance are basically the relation between them, x and x. Covariance are the relation between x and y. And this matrix will give us a very important aspect there. And here comes the matrix algebra into the calculations. We can use this matrix algebra to talk about all those factors, to talk about what a matrix can do. So when you multiply and okay, let's talk about this one. So you, for this data, say the variance and covariance values are like this. So usually of diagonal, because that is the relation between x and y, or so the relation between x and y or y and x almost same. So we have those values same. Variance value is high and along x is high, and the variance value along y is low. That means what? It states that it gives us an indication that if I take a projection on x-axis, then we'll get a high variance. The spread will be more than the projection on the y-axis. That is the indication of variance along x, variance on y. And this technique, we use it to develop the further methodology. So what we are doing is, and what usually a matrix will do, when you multiply a matrix by another matrix, it will take two jobs. One, it will do the rotation, and then it will do the translation. If you want to understand more on that, please go and search the video of Professor Gilbert. He has explained very nicely these things, that what is the interpretations or understanding and role of a matrix multiplication. So you can see here also. So if I take any point from this coordinate system and multiply it by this, that will generate another kind of spectrum, and it will do two things there: translation and the rotation. Okay, so if I take a point here, if I multiply it here, it will give me the same point here. It's okay, fine. But you take another point, 1 0. So now if you multiply it here, you will find that here it is 1 0. The point 1 0 is represented here. So now you can see here, this 1 0, which is here on this axis, what is happening to this one? It is rotated. It shifts from x-axis to some other point there, and the amplitude is also increased. So it is rotated and translated. Similarly, all the points you will find they are rotated and translated, but not all the points will be done that one. That is the important aspect. Few points, they remain the same. Okay, so if this is the structure here, this will be the structure here. So this circular structure is transformed into a elliptical surface by a transformation matrix. If I do this matrix, and this matrix is a particularly designed matrix, you just check it. Designed in a way that the diagonal elements are variance and off diagonal elements are the covariance. But few things you will find very interesting, that there are certain point direction, which is like here shown in the red, it remains same. So this direction is not rotated, it is only translated. Whereas the other points, so they in this figure, there are 2 points. Okay, so this one is 1, 2, 1 is the value which is just amplified but not rotated. And there is another value which is also amplified but not rotated. Rest of the values, all the values, these values will be rotated as well as translated, amplified. These two directions, We can find it and we represent in mathematics in a different form, which we all engineers and everybody we use it time and again. These two directions are very important directions, and these values are known as eigenvalues, and the directions are known as eigenvectors. So if somebody asks you in future what are eigenvalues and eigenvectors, you just tell it that if you transform them by using a variance matrix, the direction, the values are only increase or decrease. They are not rotated. The direction remains same. And that means that the property remains same. And that's why the whole control system and most of the things we talk about eigenvalues and eigenvectors, because we know that directions remain same. Okay, so we do it, and then we have already discussed this part. So, and how to calculate eigenvalue and eigenvectors, I'm not explaining it here because everybody knows it. So I'm just skipping those things there. So what we do it now? So we have, so this is how now PC what we do. We just put it here, find out, develop its covariance metric, its variance matrix, find out the eigenvectors, find out the eigenvalues, and then if I have eigenvalues, I can see which one is dominating here. So 11 is more dominating. Okay. So I'll discard the second direction. I'll take only this direction and I'll take projection along this. That's all. So I have converted a 2-dimension data to 1-dimension data because this is dominating. The other one is not that dominating. Just for one example that I have this big table where you can see 5 features are there. This one is very old UT. You'll find a lot of things later on taken on from some slide shared to me. So this one is 5 features here. So what we do is we develop a covariance matrix, and after that find out the eigenvalues. So it's a covariance matrix, 5 features. The eigenvalues will matrix will be 5 by 5. Eigenstuff, there are 5 eigenvectors. We rank them from small to big, and now we choose the top 2 or from there, and then from there we apply over here. We will get a 2-dimensional stuff. So we have converted a 5-dimensional problem to a 2-dimensional. This approach is known as PCA, principal component analysis. Okay, so large table to small table. Well, this one is basically we talk about the topic modeling. There is another approach which is known as a probabilistic modeling, where we talk about LDA. So here the stuff is different. Let's talk about this also very quickly. That okay, we have 2 types of gene. Okay, gene X properties, gene Y properties, and the color identify give us a classes that okay, this is the behavior of the gene X and gene Y combinations. So red may be say bad behavior, green may be a good behavior, and now we want to reduce it. So now you understand the complexity here. Earlier we don't have these labels, but now we have labels also. Okay, so if I take simple projection along gene X, what will be the issue? You will find that there are a few points you cannot classify here because of the factor that green is in between the red and there are red in between green, so it's difficult to make the classification. Similarly, if you take a classification along Y, then there are issues. So there are issues both the way. Sorry. Okay, so if you take a projection, then you will find this green, this red in between, this green in between. So you cannot reduce it directly because of this problem. Because the labeling is there, that is playing a big role there. And if this is the issue, then what is the good way? And the second important part is if I'm just taking a projections here, then I'm not considering the impact of gene Y if I'm taking projection along gene X, whereas both are playing a role. So I cannot separate it like the previous case. Okay, so what is the way? So the way is if I ignore it, one of them, then I'll take a projection and then I can do I can do certain kind of a labeling and apply certain kind of a classification, but that's not a good idea. The way is I have to find out at that direction which can separate them. Is it possible or not? So what will be that direction which will serve my both purpose, which will serve my purpose in a way that the dimensions are also reduced. That instead of two dimensions gene x gene y, only one dimension is there. The second, the impact of both is also incorporated. And third, the red and green, they are separable. So I have three challenges. So let's have one line. This is the way we do in machine learning also. So we take any random direction initially, and then we check it, project on it, project all points on it. Now this random direction, you can say you'll see that it is not parallel to any of the axes. So that means it is considering the impact of both. Okay. And when you take the projections will be like this. Well, there is an issue with this one. You can see here, the green is in between the red then. Then what we can do? The challenge is find out that particular direction or that particular line where they are separable. So there are infinite such line. So what is the best line? So, and to find that, what we can do is we convert this problem to an optimization problem. Okay. So what we do, we take a mean of the both colors. Okay. Mean of red, mean of green. And then put a condition that, okay, you maximize the distance between the mean. So if you maximize the distance between the mean, you'll find that one goes in another direction, another goes in another direction, may be separable. But then the data shift is too big. What we want, not only the mean values to be separated clearly, we want the same color group clustered together also. So what we do is we take another thing, we do another calculation. We find out the variance also. So now we have two objectives. You maximize the distance between the mean and minimize the variance. Okay, this is the variance. So we minimize the variance. So that means all green come together and maximize the mean. That means they are separable, and that will solve our purpose. So the objective is find out that line. Objective is find out that line which minimize the distance between the mean and maximize the variance. Now it's optimization problem. Okay, so we have two objectives, and then we convert it to a one objective because minimization, if we take minimization of s, then it will be equivalent to maximization of 1 by s, something. Okay, so we have one objective function and we just go for the maximization of this. Okay, so this is one example, and if you solve it, so now I want to separate it by single line. So now optimization problem is very simple. Try to understand it. Maximize the objective function, which is we have written in earlier slide. And what are my variables? Variables are the line parameter, and that is basically nothing but your slope and the intercept. So if you solve it optimization by any optimization technique, otherwise you'll find like this. But if do it the optimal, you'll find that this is the separation. If you go like this, you will find that all red are at one point and all green at one point, and they are separable. And this is, if you use this line or the projections of the data points on this line, you have reduced it. Okay, this is basically known as LDA, linear decrement. You can do it for three categories also, that I have shown you for two. It can be for three categories. You can do it for, you can take three cases. So you randomly choose one point and then take the mean, or here you can take the distance, and again the same kind of setup there. Why we are doing and what is the difference? This is the last slide on this part, then I'll switch back to the earlier one. This everybody has to understand that there are two features, there are two types of data. If I go for PCA will give me the indication of that line which give me the best spread of the data. And LDA will give me that line which give me the better classification. So there is a difference between the two. And you can choose these things as per your need. These are most common feature uh, reduction techniques people are using. So coming back to the previous one, you can see we have done the same calculations and you can calculate the eigenvalues. And then when you go for the eigenvalues, you just arrange them, eigenvalues from highest to lowest. And then from there you can decide that how many features I have to take. The question is, many times question is how to decide it. But okay, so how to decide it? The easy way is find out the knee point. You will find there is a sharp change somewhere. So you can, that is one way of deciding it. If there is a sharp change, you can take those features as the for your calculations. Else you can decide it from your processing part also, like okay, I'll take only 4 features and this is the reason. And there are other approaches also there. This is one of the way of doing it. This matrix is basically totally depends on the covariance matrix. We have proposed some other methods also, like we make this matrix as a variable matrix and then use metaheuristic algorithms to find out that best matrix which can separate them. There are various ways to do it. This what I've discussed here is one of the most popular or common approach people have used. If your data are categorical data, because it's not always the numbers, so then we have to convert it into numbers. So like cities there, Patiala, Ludhiana and Jaipur. So one way is you just convert into a certain kind of do a labeling there. So label encoding. Okay. So, but if you do it like this, then there is a problem. This is one way people do it. Okay, what you do is you could you replace there, since there are 3 cities, you replace all Patiala by 0, all Ludhiana by 1, all Jaipur by 2. But now we know that 2 is greater than 1 and 2 is greater than 0. Then the training more weightage it will be assigned to the lower values and likewise. So your model will be incorrect if you do it like categorization like this. Label encoding is very important aspect, and how you are doing it's very important. Okay. So instead of doing this one, you can go by considering of like dummy attributes. You can create it like this, which will help in a way or likewise. Okay, so we have various ways to do it. Instead of doing like this, go by a hot encoding method, which you can convert it in this kind of formation, where all the numbers, all the 3 cities, if you see the representation, it consists of one single value and 2 zeros. So that means it somewhere it balances that structure. Instead of using 0, 1, 2, you can go for this kind of a structure there. Well, that's all about this part of session. That what is uh, how we can use pre-processing techniques, these approaches, before we move to the real machine learning or machine learning methods implementation. So next 5 minutes are for your queries. So if you have any query, please let me know. Can discuss the things. If you have any difficulty in understanding the things, please post your query so that we can discuss on the things there. In the next session, we will do a live example. With me, Naveen will also join. So we'll have a hands-on session where we'll take one by one in Python, one by one case and one by one point, and then we will see that how to do the data cleaning and how it affects the results also. Any questions, please?
Yes, participants, please ask any doubt, any questions. Actually, this data preparation is the most important session in this among this FTP. So how to prepare means how to visualize, that we will see in the next session. So how to visualize the data, how do we know which algorithm we should apply on which data set. So all these questions, the answers are that very important. So please ask your doubt, any questions if you have this gradient, this data preparation. Okay, so if no question, then we will start the next session after 10 minutes. Is it okay, sir? Or
Yeah, I'm
you
okay
want?
with that one. Not an issue. If any, I'm there. No worries. I'm there. If anybody has any question, he or she can post here. Anything related not only to this topic, but even to related to any topic, they can
Yes.
post it here. We can discuss. If they want a break, they can take a break. After 5 minutes or after 10 minutes, we can start it. And I hope you have sent the link to the mail ID shared with you. Can I
Yes, sir.
ask
Yes, sir.
him to join?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah, welcome, Naveen. Am I audible to you, Naveen? Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, I think Naveen has certain issues. Naveen, if I unmute and if I'm audible, then it's fine. You are not audible. Check your setting, Naveen. You are not audible to us.
Am I audible?
Yeah, volume, increase the volume. It's very low.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but
Audible,
it's
but the volume that is very low.
very low volume.
So now,
And hello, yes.
now volume is ready, sir.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
okay. It's okay. Now you share your screen then.
Okay, sir.
So it's the same time zone there also, Naveen.
Yes, sir. As
7:30.
per, yes, sir.
It's okay. Okay. Okay, we are on the same time zone then. One is in north, another one is in the south. So
Hello, Naveen. How are you?
Yes, sir, I'm fine, sir. Sir, my
Great.
screen is visible to all of you.
yeah, it's
Yes,
visible
yes,
now.
visible, visible.
We'll start after some time, Naveen.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, just take your time. Just we will start at sharp 3:05.
Okay, okay, not an issue, sir. Okay.
So Naveen, just put that also from where they can download the data. Okay. So from here they can directly highlight, upload it, right?
Sir, from here, this line too, they can get every IPYNB file as well as the data sets.
Okay, fine. Then we will do step by step. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so some questions are coming. Okay, there is only one question. We have data of different materials and we want to find more materials with similar properties. Okay, so you can find the data, you can check the kind of clustering approaches. You can use lower models to the higher models, from neural network to other models, to find out uh, the interrelation between the properties and the combination of various materials. Just for your simplest model, let me just give me 2 minutes. I'll share something with you. Okay, so just wait. I'll something here. Like I'm just for one case sharing this thing here. Like you can check this article. This one is more towards deep learning, but I mean it give idea that how people are using it. You can have a lot of simple algorithms also, which people have used for material design. So my point is you just search it, material design with AI based approaches and likewise, so that there you can have better. There is another review article that AI driven material design. Okay, this is freely available. You can take it. You can take this paper. This is a review paper which give a better idea. This is freely available on Archive. So there are a lot of such works which are available, which you can use it for your research work. You can use all these methods to find out the relations, interrelations, material combinations with properties and likewise. I hope I'm able to answer your question. If you have more questions, please let me know.
Okay, so before start the next session, uh, let me introduce Naveen Galot. Naveen Galot is a very sincere and hard-working research scholar. Mr. Naveen Galot, graduate student member IEEE, received the BTech honors degree in electrical and electronics engineering from Rajasthan Technical University, Kota in 2016 and ME degree in honors in control systems from MBM Engineering College, Jodhpur in 2021. He is currently pursuing the PhD degree in electrical engineering at Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. He is also visiting research fellow at the Western Norway University of Applied Sciences, Bergen, Norway. His research interests include biomedical signal processing, human-machine interaction, artificial intelligence in biomedical applications, intelligent control systems, and robotic hand control. He has authored several journals and conference papers and is an inventor on multiple patents related to wearable biomedical systems. Now, Naveen, please you take this next 1 hour session with Professor
Yeah,
Rajesh Kumar.
yeah. I welcome you, Naveen, here, and yeah, Dr. Sundar, our team is already here. So we three are here, and we request everyone to open Google Colab, the link, and so that we can do the hands-on exercise. And so first, please confirm that everybody opened the Google Colab because this one is a Python platform. We have set up certain data there, which will help you a lot. Okay, so go and you need not to register it. You can just go to the Google Colab, open it, open a notebook there. Please open it and please confirm it's working on your terminal. Say yes there. That's all. You'll get this screen in front of you. Is it done? And if it is done, then in the first column, first row, type this command which is there on your screen. It will upload everything for you, and then we will analyze one by one. This will upload the data point. It will upload the complete IPY file. Once you upload it, you just need to run it. It will create a column for you. Just wait, Naveen. We just wait here first. See, you can see it, Akshay Pratap Singh. Just do it. Don't copy and paste. Because if you copy and paste and some blank or some other symbol is pasted, then you will say that there are errors. So just what is written there, you do it, but like okay, Naveen is pasting it. Naveen, please paste it in the comment box. So So one way, Dr. Surendra, this is interesting. One person is sitting at MNIT, another one is in Norway, and third one is Johannesburg, three corners of the world.
Yes, sir.
And we are coordinating this session, and that's the power of this online kind of a session there.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, participants should utilize this kind of a combination and the different structures and workshop.
Yes, sir.
I mean, can you paste it in the chat box? This the first part.
Yes, sir. I have already pasted it.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
are
So
writing
so
thanks,
yeah, yeah,
sir.
it's okay. It's okay. It's visible now. It's visible. So request everybody to follow the instructions which are there. And then what you have to do is you have to run it.
Click once run it, then click on this folder files.
Yes, then I mean next.
You just go to the download this file. Once the file is done, just copy, right click to copy a path, copy as a path. And click on upload a notebook. Either paste it directly from this to that, or either you can browse it.
So if you follow those lines instructions, what you have done is you have just imported the data file as well as the program or the code which we have developed for you. But we will do it one by one so that you can understand the things in most appropriate manner. So you can see the first part is there on the screen. Naveen, we will go cell by cell, okay? So in the first part, you can see the important libraries. All these are imported there. NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly, and then machine learning libraries from sklearn. You can see there. Model selection, pre-processing, decomposition, trees, and then matrices to identify how good are the results. And then we have imported G down to loading the things there. And then, yeah, yes, Naveen, what you're saying?
Will drive to download the things.
Yeah, and then warnings to stop the warnings. So you can please, Naveen, run it, yeah. So when you run it, after some time you'll find no errors, and then we move to the next part of it. It may take some time, but once it is connected well, then things will be much smoother. Yep. So there is no error. Then now we are transferring the data to the drive mechanism. The data are transferred here. So this file mechanism, this file, everything is visible to you. You just You can see here the file ID is given. There is a direct download link is also given, and and the command gdown use it to download it and to connect it with the setup there. You can run it, Naveen. Okay, once it is done, then we go to the next part. So you can see here the data uploading is going there. And now the first job is you read it. So we have pdread.cs underscore csv file, path is already taken. And then we read the heads there, healthcare.head. And it will give you the description of everything, that samples are there, and then you can see the various columns are there. These are the hospital record data. So we have name, age, gender, blood type, medical condition, date of admission, doctor, hospitals, and everything here. So there are many features there, you can see. All will be visible on your screen then. This is just to see the information about that particular file which we are having. We can go to the next. And then what we do is here we take a transpose of it so that we have better understanding putting the things. So when you want to take a transpose, just you take dot t, and it will give you the all the features in the row, and all the columns are now the samples, just to see it. Otherwise, our always in machine learning, our columns are our features and the rows are our samples. And now we check, we try to get the what is the information about it, what is how the data points are there. You just type, you can see the command here, healthcare.info, and it will give us the all the things there, that there are 16 features, uh, and they are, what are their nature, data type. So they are objects, they are floating points. So all those things are available here. That give us idea that okay, what are the operations I have to take. And then we will write healthcare.describe. Healthcare is the file we have created, and when you run it, it gives us a description that how many counts are there, what is the mean value, what is the standard deviation, what is the minimum value. Well, this gives us certain kind of a information about each feature, that their mean value, the average value, the maximum value, and all those things there. So one way we can get the information from here also, feature wise, you can identify something is wrong. Okay. And you can see here the age of patient is something wrong coming there. Maximum age is coming 251, which is wrong. Age can't be 251 point this thing. Or there are certain negative values also. So one way you can visualize it from there. Then you can, those are the one part, and this one is categorical features if you want to see. So this is the command there, and then it will give us the information about the categories there. And then we can have a shape. Healthcare, we can see that okay, what is the shape there. It will give us that okay, there are 16 features and there are 10,500 samples there. And now the cleaning part comes into the picture. We will see that, try to see that how many are missing values. So you can see here, if I run a command is null dot sum, you can see that it will give idea that in blood group, blood types, they are missing values. In medication, there are missing values, and likewise. Okay, Naveen, you take it from here with this same pace and let them do it. You can reduce a pace a bit because they are also running it simultaneously. And that's just keep on telling every block what is happening there. I'm also here. If any question, I'll 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 try to answer it.
So once you have done with the healthcare missing values. Then we move on to the filling that missing values through the two kind of data types. Like one is the object data types, another one is the integer or we can say that the numerical data types. So first with we filling the object data types, and in the object data types we can see visualize that the how to fill with the mode values. It means it's a number of times repeated maximum with the fill of this mode value to fill this missing values. So just here is running the loop and fill with the mode value 2 in place of NA, or we can say that the missing values. So similar kind of once you have done with the object data types, we move on to the numerical values data types like integer, floats, and double floats, etc. So these numerical value fill with the, you can visualize that the median value through the median value, or we go for the mean value also. We just change with the median to mean in place of here, and then the value will missing value will replace with the mean value of that particular column. Once you have done with the numerical data type fill with missing values, then we again check that how many values are now missing or any certain kind of are available. So now visualize that there is no missing value. Now we go for the checking that if once we fill this missing values, then maybe this value is duplicated or similar to the another samples. So we just go for the checking of duplicate data. So now we can visualize that the number of 490. So once you have checked the once you have checked the duplicate data, this is the 495. So it's a simple command to remove these duplicate data. There is a drop underscore duplicates. It's similar to remove that the similar samples. After that, we can again check what is the certain kind of that is showing that now is no file of duplicate data. Then again we go for the check the some kind of stats because of certain kind of values like in the above as Rajesh sir told you the value of age as remaining still maximum value is 251. It means still now need of a certain kind of a pre-processing part, or we can say that's some removal of things. So we can say that this is called layer process removal. So first we visualize that the what is the certain kind of outliers. Here we can visualize that there are many more in the billing amount as well as circle part is the outliers. In the room number is 1, in this outlier are 4. Once we get that sorting part, it is simple command plt dot figure and beside the figure size and then making a box plot to visualize that how many, values or samples are not related to this certain range of the sample data. So once you have plotted, go for the removal of outliers. So just defining a one function. Defining a function is a simple pattern. Use the some simple def keywords with the given name of removal outliers IQR. You can give as per your choice. In place of removal outliers IQR, you can put it outlier removal, any kind of, and pass it to some kind of argument. There is in this parenthesis bracket passes the some arguments. I have defining df. You can define a, b, c, any kind of, and then I repeat the loop process to check every samples, and these samples are within the range of quartiles as per the bounding box, or we can say that the box plot. Quartile first and third are the range in which 0.25 for quartile first, and for the quartile third there is a 0.75, and we find the range of IQR to decide the lower bound and upper bound of the outliers for the box plot, and then just put it into the another function to save it the whole data. For this, we just run it this function, and after the return, we want our actual data removing after removal of the outliers. So after that, run it the function removal outliers with the healthcare CSV files, and after that, we again check for the outlier plots in the box plots. Similar kind of figure size as well as the some kind of a title. You can visualize that. Also, you can put it like axis, plt dot axis for x-axis, y-axis. And here we can visualize that there is no circles in every data set. So it means now outlier is not there. So after removal of this, we go for again check that the stats of the numerical data sets. So just run it with the healthcare dot clean dot describe, because healthcare clean is the after removal of outliers. And now we can visualize that there is some kind of values. It's in the suitable range. Now we go for the checking that the add to first 5 row, or we can, if you are interested to go for 10 rows, just type it here 10, or if you are interested to go for the bottom 5, then go for tail and put it 5, 6, any number of you want to visualize that. If you are interested to go for last 10 rows, just put it and you can visualize that there is a last 10 rows of your now clean CSV file is this, or you can go for, if you are going for first 5 or first 10, then go for head and put it here 10 in place of your 6, just type it as 6. Now you can visualize that there are 6 samples of your clean CSV file. Once you have done with this, then we move on to the drop the irrelevant columns like name, because of we are going now we are moving on to this for the analysis through the machine learning as well as artificial intelligence, we can say that. So such kind of irrelevant data columns we are removing, like serial number. There is no need. There is a name. No need of a name in the understanding of a machine learning concept. Date of admission, discharge rate, room number. So these four columns I'm interested to remove that. And after the complete analysis of or we can say that data cleaning, now we move on to the data exploration and data visualizations for the presenting or understanding the in the graphical manner. So now we move on to the visualization part. So first one we go for the these column to check that the how many like stats on the basis of category are available, like the number of males, number of females, number of blood groups peoples, and the number of blood type, as well as the number of disease type. So like we are interested to as doctor as column, so put it here and check that there are the stats as per gender, as per blood type, as per medical conditions, as per insurance provider, as per admission type, as per medication, which kind of medicine is required for very particular medicine, how many persons taken, and the test result, abnormal, inclusive, as well as normal. Once you have done with the stats, we go for the plotting with the histogram plots. Just there is a column with the integer data types as well as the float data types.
Uh,
And
Naveen, please slow the pace. Please slow the pace.
okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So till now I have expect that all of you have done with the certain kind of numerical values of number of gender peoples are there, number of as per the blood groups. Once you have done with this, you go for these numerical value in the graphical representation manner. So in this, there is a column which are related to the data type of integer and the float and the figure size with the some figure style, you can say that. And in this, I'm interested to subplot means within a plot, plot within a plot, or we can say the nested plot, kind of side by side plot or row manner in a column manner. And as well as you can define the label of x-axis, y-axis, as well as you will decide the you can decide the font size of your label and the color of the fonts, as well as you can type it title, and here is the title with every column. So if you are going for any certain things you are interested to insert of column wise, then you should put it in the curly braces, that particular generalized word or generalized defined name of a column like col. and here I am putting the curly braces for. So every column wise is showing the title automatically change as per the loop. And after that, you can visualize the distribution of your patients with the respect to the age. So we can visualize that it's starting from 10 to till the 85, 89 approximately, as well as you can visualize the basic amount with respect to the patient and the distribution of hospitalized among the patients, how many days the patients are hospitalized. And once you have done with the distributions of the plots and visualize that minimum distribution of each days, or we can say that maximum or mean number of days the person staying for these hospitals or giving that much amount, you can understand with these distributions. Once you have done with the s- histogram plot, you go for the pie chart and some kind of a bar chart distribution with the columns in which data types are objects. Above are the integer and float. Here is the data types are is defined of all the data types, including objects like doctors, like hospitals, name, and some kind of service provider. So certain kind of like subplots, how many subplots you are wanted. This is the first row, two figures side by side. We are interested. So this is the pattern you want to show in front of your screen. So this is just a basic. Now we can visualize that understanding like everywhere what is your columns of your keywords, their multiplication in Instagram as well as in the pie chart, and we can understand the third kind of medicine is the use, and then after that penicillin and ibuprofen. You can identify this in this histogram as well as the percentage wise in the pie chart. So the test result, like normal, abnormal, means from the distribution, we can derive I say that the data is uniformly distributed for because of the not imbalancing in the data set. If data sets have imbalance, then before going to the ML, we balance that using the function techniques to overlap or to the some kind of techniques like the smooth and other things. Once you have done with the graphical plotting, so for the traffic the distribution of medical condition, the gender wise, you can visualize that to the test. Because you got all to do by the medical condition and gender, and it is negative side, it will automatically sort it to the minimum to the maximum. And visualize that you can and static and create a female male can discuss medical conditions. So that's your stats. You got the plot with the bar where there is a partner, the partner leader and the tick mark with available items that you are interested. If you are stable data is certain kind of some rotation, if you need it, just put it here. How much
kind of you are rotating your tax, like 50, 40, 90, 70, whatever you want it, you can just put it here. Like, you can realize that your offset is a certain time. The quantity of a rotation with the X label. If you are not interested, let's look at it. So command it or let me check the view. Dual bar chart of critical conditions. There's diabetes, hypertension, obesity, use eczema. And after that, we can anticipate that the female have higher share in the majority of medical conditions. Cancer is leading medical condition among the female. Have hypertension is the leading cause among the female. So we can declare that real the cancer is the leading cause in the female, and the hypertension is the leading cause in the male. These are the interpretation to the graphs. Again, as you can find with the pie chart and then other plotting to the percentage ratio of revenue. And after the budgeting condition, we move on to the total billing amount for the top 10 hospitals of the listed in the sample data. So now we go to the simple. Around 5 lakh 60,000, 599, 5 lakh 15,000, 310,000, that's me. And the school can feel free, I will see. Inside the phone, it's also go for the modem, it's available. You can see how done with the stats, images of a hospital with the amount. You can also visualize that in the plotting, before like the bar plot, so the bar plot decided the figure size, as well as the top 10 hospital of billing, the amount, and then also the name, and the index value of the numerate, billing amount, font size, and you can decide the center or size and center like rotation. It's not with font size from, you can repeat the font size, you will just rotate it, just the rotation, add it, and you know, that the, this is a down draw. You can simply chart even more higher, I mean, facilitate it up. So, on the basis of this, the initial instance has the highest error billing effects in the business. Who are the top 20 doctors by billing amount? It is the most prepared doctor that for as per the billing amount. Stats, right, doctors, goes down, is actually more highest 2,000, 1,93,000, and so, this is the stats of first in the list. Capital the three evidence. It's 1,21,000. So, you are done with the numerator, you are interested to imagine a numerator. The second manner, you can go for the half floor, it's not. In case of these kind of stats, it is more appropriate to interpret that whose patient is the highest mark and the patient large is the lowest mark. Like we can realize that the withdrawn is the highest paper, billing amount of those, and the promoting of the is the lowest below. So more difficult to understand but it is very helpful. Yeah, how you get dealing with the help filling amount expected. Expectation from the simple. Which medical condition vomited the highest average relief amount? So we can that the kind of medical condition is the most most thing from your pocket is for the fuel or your fuel to yeah, this is the stress and for the stress you either sort it or either you go further because of the it's more understanding easy. It's bar plot, in bar plot, medical condition with the billing amount, it's something on paper is there. And if you like that, it's which kind of medical condition in the living Nigeria, the most in your property, the diabetes in the female, there by in the male, and how it is the male, the cancer, and and after that, we can just check the difference if you are interested some kind of stats that mean or not value, mean building amount. You can also directly type it dot mean, dot max, from that particular column, it will give you directly the value of the minimum value of the column, max value, mean value, median, mode, whatever you want from the stats. So after that, you look at the counting of on the basis of some kind of like the range of for age groups, uh, which is like between the 30, 61 to 70, and 71 to 80, and like over the age of 50, there is a less people among the all age groups. And like you have done with the squares, we can go for the raw pattern, definition of bar charts, because the backpack is more effective to understanding because its highest is the most leading bar and lowest is the not middle bar. With the labels and visualizations to the field to that search command, it will reach the things the most bar. So let's get down to 18 to 30 references on the range of 18 to 30 minutes. Of course, my way is that for these tests, 18 to 30 gives patients more when compared to the others. And finally, we complete that the role of these visualization of the mean there are high female performance, most patients have the blood or type of customized signal leading future required of the both discovery person. These are the certain kind of technical points. Once you have done with the visualization and data cleaning. Now we move on to the data transformation. Means the transform for the easy to understand for the coding point of view or the data for machinery point of view. So if you are data type first, you go for the data type categorical journal. So just converting these categorical like if your blood group to be A, B, O, are not understandable by the machine. The machine can understand the numerical means different. So just we go for the converting that is category into certain kind of a label mapping through. So first you identify the columns of categorical and save these columns in the categorical columns. And after once save these all columns of object data type, we just go for mapping the labels with certain kind of label encoders. There is a command, you no need to do for the manual hard work. Just put the core column in the categorical columns and they use this simple command label encoder and keep to transform these label encoders in the all of the two data types column into the numerical value. So once you have done it, see into the dictionary and label mapping. For that, once you have done with the label mapping and make your list, you just go for visualization, which kind of label is assigned to the particular column data types. Likewise, if you for the if you are visualizing that there is a 8 5 land this is the this is the numbers label insurance provider 0 for the 0 and 1 for admission type for medication and test results. Once you have done it table encoding, now start with the some model of machine learning point of view. Read the data set and some already explained in the monitors. There is a use of some kind of training parts as well as for testing parts to divide the whole data into the train as well as the test to validate the model is giving good result or bad result on the basis of some kind of performance matrices. So the first one, the X means your input labels, which one is called there is a missing of a target column. Here is not in the target column, or we can say that if you are going for like the healthcare dot drop column test result and age group, there is no need of age group to just remove it. And the test result I am taking into the y variable because of y is my output column. So X is the input column. On the basis of input, map to the machine learning models to the output column, and then after we go for testing that data set to validate that there is a model giving a more accurate result. So how to split the data set? X train, X test, Y train, Y test. There is a two part for training as well as for the testing. To split the data set into train and test with the test size 0.2 means if you have a sample of 10, there is a 2 sample for testing and 8 sample goes for training. But if you have more than this, like 100 samples, then 80 samples for training and 20 samples for testing. And the stratify means there is a taking samples from the each object output class. There is not stratify means it's taking the samples in the balanced condition from the as per the object output class. Random state you have to put it means if you are 10 samples and you split into 80-20, like if you are test size is 0.2, and then on the basis of 80-20, you can visualize that as per number of persons, you can pick any kind of eight, any kind of a two. So it's a number of combinations. So as per these combination, you can pick any kind of that particular combination to the random state defined. And most of the people it's like 47 and some time of 42. There is a fix defining random state in the most of the codes and people's in the Googles as well as some kind of a platform. They are telling it's my lucky number. That's why I'm choosing this. It means there is as per engineer you are going for that kind of weapons. It's totally wrong. We prove it with the checking that all kind of combinations you type it 44, 2, 3, number of combination samples as per your number of total data samples. So if you are interested to check same, then directly go for this one. There is a, once you have split the data set, you train and test on the basis of 80-20. go for the feature scaling, just like which with the normalization and other techniques, next scalars. So whatever you want it, you just change it here. Standard scalar, linear scalar. So sir already explained the like how to it's normalize the data set. If you are not going for the normalizations, one sample is in the high range and another samples in the low, then it will be definitely giving you some kind of bad results in learning. So it's data, you get the scale data. Another one is easier. You can also understand the PCA how to select. Already sir explained you there is a one key role in selection of the PCA component. How many PCA component is best fit for your data set. You can through the plotting command to visualize as well as you can select the randomly 1, 2, 3, 4 and number of possible components. So just I have here I've taken 5 components and after this PCA, you can visualize that there is a file is a good amount or not. You can visualize all it's relating. If you are going for the more than this, or changing here like in case of 5, you go for 2, you go for visualize that because of here there is one another issue in the Google collapse. That's why most I prefer for the like private because it's in the memory already saved the samples. If you are going for something different, saying language here, that's what the reminder. Otherwise, it's still giving you a source error. Therefore, like 10, not going with it because it's location here as well. And then once you are done, you know that there is a let's say downloading of 5 to 10, 10, like a consumption, and then we got 5. Once you are done with this visualization, now we go for the feature selection. Sir, here already explained the like refer, filter, embedding methods. And here is using one of the feature selection methods to refer from the refer to just see feature animation techniques. Very simple full command RFE and then estimator for that particular each kind of estimator to select that feature. This is a three classifier. It's a basic classifier. And how many features I'm interested? I'm interested to select 2 features only from the number of 15 samples, 15 features. So and select it and transform it, clean data as well as the text data. And then once you have done it, you can visualize what is the name of that particular selected features. Each and you want to visualize the selections as per the entry. And after you can run these features, is your like lowering the data to with the reasonably like the data. I will just the in place of requesting feature only so that we can see feature selection. Then definitely go for the higher is the better. And after that, we are defining a model that is called